Hello, everybody. It is that time of the week. It is your illustrious host, Dragon's Fury and Infernal Drake.
Hope you all been having a good week.
Especially better than ours because unfortunately we got some news for Infernal.
Yeah.
And yeah, he send the love, send the love. It's needed.
Yep. The uh, the lovely economy has basically cut me down, and I feel dragging this. Like I literally feel like I got punched in the gut and stabbed. Like it's yeah, not a fun feeling.
Not a fun feeling at all. Ev- Everyone's feeling it's progressively just getting worse day by day, which absolutely and utterly sucks. As our prior to recording that conversation, my job. We're on borrowed time. We lost our main contract that gives us a job. Um, they've been trying to get us our new one, but like at the same time, they're not really getting us our new one. Um, and still expecting things to go as normal, and we're just like, okay. Um, a lot of yeah, not a good time for the working man, if you will.
Yeah, it's not, and like it makes it even worse because it's like n- you would think it's like, oh, like like that it's like, oh, okay, the economy is doing shit. Let's just screw over our workers. It's like, hey, we know you need this job, but tough luck. And I'm just like, but why?
He's like, but why? And I get that everything's like hurting for money or whatever, but there's still like a certain point where it's like, oh, well, we wouldn't be in this situation if everyone wasn't like grubbing for money. If we weren't all being like extorted for prices and stuff like that. It's just like, really, this is what we're is where we're at, and yeah, it's not a fun thing because like was it we found out I want to say earlier this year that our contract, actually no, not even early this year, we knew in November, um that the contract was officially coming to an end. Now mind you, my whole like tenure at my job is basically been a giant sham because when I came on, we weren't even supposed to have been that long anyway because we were at the back end of that contract.
Oh,
And
really?
then they were like, "Oh, we're going to transition to a new kind of like bit not business model, but like a new uh, I don't know what the word for it is. Like business space. Like essentially, what we were working on was getting retired, and a new replacement was being brought in allegedly,
Hmm.
and that's what we were going to start working on. That's what we were going to start learning. That's what we were going to start saying. So it was like it was supposed to be out with the old, in with the new, but the new never came, and
Yeah.
we were still working with the old, and we're like, oh, okay, and now we're actually okay, yes, it's officially out with the old, but like old meaning the company, kind of like parts of the company old are going out, and we're just like, oi.
Mm.
Yeah, all right. So I've thankfully I'm not quite as screwed, but
Yeah.
I'm back there, not too far off. Because I
Yeah.
got
It's like
two stable months for sure.
I also feel like originally like because so where I worked, they were originally looking for so the role I had was an IT analyst, and they were originally looking for someone that specialized in Mac, which is understandable. It's like, hey, if you need a Mac guy, you need a Mac guy. They weren't finding anyone. So they lowered the qualifications to be able to do Windows and Mac if you have some experience. That's pretty much how I got it. Plus with a recommendation, thanks to a friend. Um, But recently, like they actually brought on an actual Mac guy, so I don't know if they were just like, oh, we now have our Mac guy. We don't need someone who's only working on the Windows stuff. So yeah, but I'm just over here like, wouldn't you want to have the roles like, wouldn't you want to have it where like the desktop admin can focus on like more serious stuff while the Mac guy focuses on the Mac stuff and the Windows guy focuses on the Windows?
Yeah, because that would make sense.
It really would. And so yeah, I'm just over here like the frick. So yeah, I mean, silver lining I guess is that they'll at least pay me for the next, well, technically what I'm owed. Um, but
Your
uh,
severance.
yeah, basic severance. So, but yeah, like I gotta, I just I'm gonna see if HR has potentially anyone I can reach out to, that could help me out. Because like it's
Right.
not like I left on bad terms. It's just like they got rid of my position,
Yeah.
which I mean helps, I guess. So hopefully HR can at least point me to someone that can help, like a recruiter or something,
Yeah.
because I need all the help I can get these days. So everyone listening, please wish me luck.
Send the helps and the loves and the hell if you are Florida
If you,
bound.
yeah, and if
um,
you're going through a similar situation, I hope you also find something sooner than later.
yeah. Rants in the comments, decompress in the comments. It help. It sucks, but it helps. To get the frustration out first, so that way you can gear back up and be like, all right, let's get shit done and taken care of. And
Yeah.
so it, and what's crazy is that like what TikTok would lead you to believe, which is a crazy statement into a state of something.
Hmm.
Um, I've been getting a lot of ads about like, oh, like how'd you go from retail into tech? And it's like it's like a coding ad, and I'm like, no, like this isn't like I don't know when it happened that certain fields just got like a bum rap, right? And like, for example, like coding, right? It's always marketed and presented like it's the easiest thing to pick up, and that, you know, with only three short installments, you can be the next big coder. And
You're right.
anytime you actually like look into it, and especially like in a lot of the meme space, if you will, for like coding, it's always the running joke is, I don't know why it works, it just does. That does not give me the picture of easy. That gives me a picture of it's so fucking complicated that we just have a surface level understanding enough to get by
Yeah,
collectively.
I know, right?
And it was like, okay, so when did that happen where it was like, okay, this is what we like, this is what coding is, and then it's like my original field, because it's like I don't even have one at this point. I've been out of school and then in the workforce for so long that it's like my what I wanted to do ended up being the next YouTuber's stepping stone, right?
Hmm.
What I went to school with, what I studied, what I did, all of my projects and papers on, and deep dives of which, is reflected in how I do things. It's, oh, just the next guy who's like, I like YouTube, I want to do YouTube, is now the next, videographer, because it's just technology has gotten to a point where it was like, oh yeah, it's doing everything for you, which is fine. if you want to do certain things, you want to do certain things. Cool. Accessibility to everything. I'm not trying to gatekeep, you know, radio and television as a career. What I'm saying is that it's the fact that the general population kind of just went to a um, DIY like kind of thing, like do it yourself, and just kind of like globally accepted that because enough people just kind of like threw a bunch of shit at the wall to see what stuck, and then something did, and they were like, "Hey, look that!" And then now this Yahoo over here is like, "Yeah, did you know if you did this or whatever?" Yes, you do have the, quote unquote success stories, but there is what is it? There is a specific, and it always comes to mind when I'm like talking about this. There's a specific TikToker out there that does like dance videos, right?
Hmm.
But he does it in a style that is so unnerving to me. I don't know if it unnerves anybody to the level like it unnerves me, but it's almost like head tracking. So it only looks like his body is ever moving in the world, and that his
That's
head is
weird.
always it's like the camera is gyroscopically locked on his head while he's doing these dance videos. So it always look it the video of like the chicken when they're like
Oh
moving the
yeah.
body and the chicken's head never move, like imagine that as a video. Like that's how the video's moving. Everything else but the center mass of his head is moving, and it bothers me so much. But it's like the thing to do. And I'm like, why? This is not a pleasing aesthetic. Yeah, 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 I get it. I'm just one person, whatever. But I was like, I can't be the only one that thinks like that. It's like what they say in school is like, always ask your question because you're not the only one who has the same question, right? I can't be the only one who's mildly perturbed by how that looks.
Right. It's just like this does not look natural.
Like this doesn't look natural, or the like the a lot of like the kind of like the trendy styles of shooting video and you know all of these things. And then you do have like certain creators who were coming and it was like, oh yeah, it was like the more I learned is like different things about like actual technique, right? And I was like, all right, cool, at least you're doing your homework, right? And you're trying to actually improve it in the sense of skill and knowledge. There is a technological portion where it's like you will not elevate to a certain point if you do not have certain technology because that's just how it is. For example, like if you want to do, audio and stuff like that, you have to have good audio equipment. It is what it is. But outside of that, you have to understand how to, capture sound in the various unique. That's why music producers, like the legends ones, they're so good at what they do because they view sound differently and how they collect it and how they gather it and how they mix it or whatever. Like, but God forbid you tell someone who's think they're doing good on this, like the SoundCloud artists, and you're just like, no, it's not good. It sounds good on the surface, but anyone who's skilled and very matured in that field understands is like, no, it's not that good. You're doing what is the equivalent of a toddler smacking on a keyboard. And he's like, yes, you can find on surface level, it's good. It's good for what you want to do. You're a beginner. Cool, great. But to keep kind of like almost that participation trophy kind of mentality, like everybody gets gold, everyone does well, everything's good. No, someone's gonna have to have some crap because that's the only way anyone's gonna want to improve.
Yeah, no, like you definitely need like not everyone's gonna be good. It's like, and honestly, like that's probably a good thing because it's like if you know that you've done something like that's not say like up to par or just not good in general, it's like you can look back, see what could have been done differently, and learn from it. But if you're always told like, oh no, you did great, it's like you're not gonna learn from it.
Right, and you're put in this false sense of achievement. And like now there is a delicate balance of you don't want to criticize so hard to the point that it demotivates them. It's kind of
Well,
like
yeah.
that special power teachers have to develop. you want to tell them, hey, this is not good. You are not where you need to be, but you're not trying to do it in a fashion where all they think of is, well, I everything I try is just not good enough. I'm just going to give up. So it's that delicate balance. But for the general population, fuck you guys. Right? Like, stop pushing out this crap and, claiming it's good. It's the same reason why they're like when the rise of podcasting happened. So many people were so annoyed by a lot of the, male dominated podcasts because they're talking about is stuff out of their ass about how how to get women or how to get ahead in life, being the alpha male, whatever. And I was like, this is the biggest load of horse shit that I have ever come across in my life, and I haven't been around that long, and I feel like I'm tired of this. And I get it, but at the same time, you're like, who's perpetuating it? Like, who's doing it? If it's crap, it should just fizzle out. Like, there is a cap of how many people are going to discover it because, hey, no one knows who it is. You're just looking into it. Like that one comment we had some time ago. They were like, I don't know what this was, but I listened to the whole thing. Well, we hope you didn't hate it. Like, but at a certain point, if it is not good, people are going to pass that along that, oh, this is not good, or hey, this wasn't for me for these reasons. And then the people next will be like, oh, well, let me see because that doesn't bother me as much or whatever. But like, if there is so much of it that the internet itself is responding in kind, being like, oh, here goes another person with a podcast talking out of their ass, and then over here you're like, well, then how did they get this far? Like, how did they get to the point that they became on the radar of the general public in the social sphere? Mind you, the internet is an interesting place. And to the point for that, there'd be this level of complaining. And I was just like, when you look at certain social things, like issues, like in a logical way, the numbers don't add up. It mathematically doesn't make sense, and it just makes me just want to sit there and look at the various, imagination that is like, oh, this is how we conceptualize the internet, and just look at the void and be like, I know you're in there. I know you're conscious. Explain yourself.
Enemy your secrets.
Is it not even tell me your secrets, just explain yourself. Like, why are you letting this happen? You're self-sabotaging yourself. Like, all of the bad content is the equivalent to the internet's collective consciousness intrusive thoughts. Like, hey, stop letting them get out.
Anytime about the intrusive thoughts will always win.
Yeah, I get it. I also don't believe in intrusive thoughts, so that statement in and of itself is kind of a contradiction, but hey.
The thoughts are not there.
Because it's like, intrusion means it's something outside that's come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that wasn't there before, that wasn't there naturally, and then has moved in. Like, it's an outsider. It's not welcomed. I think the not welcome part is where people hang up on, like, the term intrusive thoughts, where I'm like, then we need a new name. Because when I hear intrusive, I hear, hey, there's a mutant out there giving people subliminal messaging. That is intrusive thoughts. That is, in my mind, what a true intrusive thought is, hey, there's a motherfucker who has forced their idea into my brain with such vigor and force that it overrode what I personally feel about it, and now that has come out and manifested itself.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that unless we got a bunch of X-Men running around, which may or may not be a thing, I think we need to rename Intrusive Thoughts. Call them unwelcomed in-laws. I don't know. Something
Unwelcome
clever.
in-laws.
Yeah, they're a part of the family, but you don't want them there. But it's not polite not to at least acknowledge that they exist. But you don't have to let them have a say. Oh, damn it! What's the Star Wars line? About like the council, like we recognize you as.
Oh no, that wasn't Star Wars. That was Avengers.
Is that Avengers?
I mean, both have Samuel L. Jackson, so.
Yeah, I thought it was Star Wars of him. It was like, oh, we recognize you as a member
we
of the council, but you don't have a voice.
Yeah, but we don't recognize you as Master.
There we go. That's what it is, right? Hey, treat your quote-unquote intrusive thoughts like that. You get it. They're there, but they don't have to manifest. Stop it, you weak-minded fools. So that side tangent, I don't know where was I going with that?
I don't know. What were you going with this?
Fuck if I know. I don't know. It'll come to me, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it was just, yeah, I really don't know where I was going with that. Unrelated, ready for Fire Force?
Yes.
Should be dropping day of this airing.
Oh, shit.
If I was not lied to by the random lady on the internet talking about how she turned down a date because she was trying to remember why she was busy on Friday, and it turned out to be Fire Force.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if she didn't lie to me, then yes, the first episode of the new season is supposed to drop then.
Yeah, God, I honestly completely forgot it was already coming.
Yeah. And also, rumor has it. Soul Eater remake is coming in a couple years.
Oh.
So they said this time, which we don't know for sure because what day it is. We'll have to confirm tomorrow and see if it's still true. If it's still true, then yes, it will be coming in 2027.
Yeah, I know. It's like this is like the day that it's like so hard to like confirm if things are true or not.
It's like this is the day that you just put a pin in things. You'd be like, we'll come back to that.
Which, back to the negative real quick. Like when I received the terrible news, I'm just like, man, this is an April Fool's joke. This is a shitty one.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick. But yeah, no, back to happiness. I'm hoping because Soul Eater is a sequel to Fire Force, so it's like it would make sense for them to do this.
Yes.
And I would love it if they did.
Yeah, I would say too. But, well, do you have any last quotes, motivational tweets, screams into the void before we depart?
Well, I mean, if I scream, my mic's not gonna pick it up. So,
all right, insert scream here of Infernal, and then.
Yeah. all I can say is, if you're going through a rough time, just keep trucking, and things will eventually get better.
Yes. So as we say, the show exists because of you, but it is a mutual back. The love you put in is the love that's going out. So, cycle of love, happy thoughts. We'll get through it, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you next time.